In this clip, we will learn about the menstrual cycle and about the 4 hormones which control this cycle, the 4 stages, and about the levels of hormone during the cycle. Sometime we can have some exam style questions asking about the increasing and decreasing levels of these hormones during the specific days of this cycle. So first of all, this is a cycle in females, monthly sequence of events. So of 28 days. It can be divided into 4 stages. So stage 1 starts from day 1 to day 4, and then from day 4 to day 14 is stage 2. On day 14, that is stage 3, and from day 14 to day 28 for 14 days, that is called stage 4. There is an easy way to remember: 1, 4, 14 and 28. So there is a trend, there is a sequence in numbers: 1, 4, 14 and 28. So 1, 4, if you combine them, so the third stage is on 1, 4, 14, and then double this one, 28, which represents the end of the cycle. So the stage 1 starts by the breakdown of the uterus lining, and during that stage the FSH hormone is released by the pituitary gland. And what is the function of this hormone? So remember, that is released by the pituitary gland, which is also called the master gland. So why master gland? Because it releases so many hormones in our body, and not only it releases many hormones, but it controls many other glands to release their hormones. So FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, helps the follicle to get mature in ovaries. So follicle is a structure of cells around the egg cell, which is a female sex cell. So the total structure, egg and the surrounding cells, are called follicle. But this hormone is also involved in the stimulation of estrogen production, which is the next hormone in this one. So the second stage the first stage was the breakdown of the uterus lining. The second stage starts from the day 4 or day 5. So that is the growth, building of the uterus lining. You can see in the diagram. So by the end of this stage, the uterus lining is fully spongy, fully developed, with a lot of the blood flow, blood circulation, and is ready for the fertilized egg to be implanted, means ready for the process of fertilization. So the second stage involves the regrowth of the uterus lining, and which hormone is involved in the thickening and the regrowth of the uterus lining? That is called estrogen. So estrogen is produced by the ovaries, and you can see over here that the estrogen levels are going to increase during the second stage of the cycle. So increased levels of estrogen will help to build up the lining of the uterus. So these two are related. because what is the function of the estrogen? To build and to grow the uterus lining. So overall, so it means during the second stage the level of estrogen should go up. So you can see the level of estrogens are high during the second stage. There is another function of the estrogens, that these stimulate the LH hormones, which is the third one, luteinizing hormone. So you can see that this line represents the luteinizing hormone, which goes up to the maximum level, means on or before day 13, day 14 and day 15 for these 3 days. So, and that day 14 is basically the day of ovulation. And what is ovulation? The release of egg from the ovaries is called ovulation. And stage 3 represent the release of egg. So, and that process is called ovulation. And which hormone is responsible for the process of ovulation? That is called LH, or luteinizing hormone. So luteinizing hormone is produced by the pituitary gland, which is again like FSH and luteinizing hormones, they both are produced by the master gland, pituitary gland. So its function is that it controls the process of ovulation, means the release of egg on day 14. The second function of LH is to convert the follicle. Follicle is the surrounding structure of the egg. So the broken down follicle into corpus luteum. So first function is to control the process of ovulation, and second function is to convert the follicle into corpus luteum. Okay, then stage 3 is on day 14. After stage 3, from day 14 till day 28, there is stage 4, and a fully thick uterus lining is maintained during these 14 days, from day 14 to day 28, and progesterone is responsible for that maintaining the uterus lining. So this hormone progesterone is produced by corpus luteum. So corpus luteum is produced by the follicle, and which hormone stimulates and converts the follicle into corpus luteum? LH. So progesterone is produced by the corpus luteum, and its function is to maintain the uterus lining for 14 days. So if any fertilized egg during that time is implanted in the uterus, then so it is ready for the implantation of the fertilized egg during that time. Okay, if there is no fertilization happens, then the level of progesterone, you can see the levels of progesterone will decrease, because what these higher levels of progesterone and estrogen were doing, they were maintaining the uterus lining. High levels of progesterone and high levels of estrogen were maintaining the uterus lining. So when these hormones levels, mainly progesterone level, will decrease and estrogen level will decrease, so the FSH levels will increase, and that is involved in the breakdown of the uterus lining. So if there is no fertilization by that time, so the FSH hormone, its level will increase and will break down the uterus lining, and the second cycle will start after day 24. So there are few things which can help you to learn and remember about the functioning of these four hormones. You can see that this hormone stimulates the production of next hormone. So FSH stimulates the production of estrogen. Okay, so estrogen production, and estrogen stimulates the production of LH, and then you can see that LH is indirectly involved in the production of progesterone. So this is one function. You can see that all the previous hormones are stimulating the production of the next hormones. Like FSH is stimulating the production of estrogen, estrogen is stimulating the production of LH, and LH is stimulating the production of progesterone. So, but high levels of progesterone will inhibit the production of FSH. But when there are low levels, if the levels of progesterone will decrease, so that will increase the levels of FSH, and as a result the second cycle will increase. So this is a trend. So I hope you will understand. You can see from here that LH, what is their quantity of the hormones, basically is related with their function. So LH hormone is related with the release of egg, which is on day 14. So you can see here around the day 14 the levels of LH is high, and estrogens, they are involved in the rebuilding of uterus lining after menstruation, which happens during the first stage. So the levels of estrogen will increase during the second stage, which is a stage of rebuilding of the uterus lining, and then it will decrease, and progesterone is involved in maintaining the uterus lining during the stage 4. So you will see that it is low all the way, and during the stage 3 from day 14 to day 28 the levels of progesterone will remain high, and when the levels will decrease, that will cause the high levels of FSH and the breakdown of uterus lining and the start of the second cycle. I hope you will understand. Thank you.